Jingle bells, Koloff smells of gore and laid an egg. A bird of prey lost his cloak and the herd got away.
Alright everybody, how we doing? Today we are actually going to be talking about the new Fek'ihri Sator warship. This ship is the 2018 Winter Event Award, and as you can see here, we are here in Q's Winter Wonderland. So, we'll pop up this ship. This is the first year that we haven't gotten a Breen ship as the Winter Event ship. And though the Fek'ihri seemed like a weird pick for the winter event, I think they did take the Breen kind of to the limits. They do have a lot of different classes, so there wasn't much left to do there, so I do understand them kind of switching it up. We'll take a look a little more at the actual visuals of this ship after, but right now we're just going to take a look at this build and kind of, the console slots and things like that. So we see it is a 4-4 weapon layout. We do have anti-proton weapons because the Fek'ihri do use AP, but we've decided to mix it up with a couple of Delphics, some Herald, and Crafted. We also have the Ancient Omni, which is a mission reward, and we have mixed that with our Obelisk Warp Core. That two-piece is giving us a Cat 2 bonus damage to anti-proton damage. Then we have the Nakura two-piece, also giving us plus 5% Cat 2 to energy weapon damage, and then we have the Colony Deflector. We can take a look here, we'll see that this is a 3 engineering, 3 science, and 5 tactical kind of layout. In engineering, we have the M6, we have the dynamic, and we have domino. In science, we've gone with the polymorphic probe array, which is for our boost anti-proton damage. We have our tachyokinetic converter, we have the console from the ship, which we'll get into, and we have 4 of the AP locators and bioneural infusion circuits from Lobi. As we take a look here, this is Chains of Fire. This is the console that comes with this ship. As you can see, it gives us a bonus to fire damage. Obviously, we're on the ground, so don't take the numbers for what they are. I believe it's more like 25%. It gives us some impulse expertise and some starship control. Then, the activatable ability is pulls and damages nearby foes. To 6 nearby foes, 2,200 fire damage, ignores shields. For 10 seconds, pulls affected foes toward you, doing 110 fire damage, ignores shields, times 2 per second. Now again, the numbers are off because we're on the ground, so basically this console acts as like a tractor beam repulsor, but with having the duty officer, Greg Amal, and it kind of grabs ships and pulls them with you. And does fire damage. Fire damage is boosted by exotic particle gen, so the more you have an EPG, the better number you'll get for fire damage. We'll take a look here at the Starship Mastery unlocks. We are getting accuracy, critical severity, critical chance, and enhanced weapon systems, 10% to kinetic and energy weapons. We'll take a look at the trait. Here we get a better look at it. While this trait is slotted, you're at full throttle, and in combat. Your ship will periodically shoot great cones of fire behind your ship, dealing fire damage to all foes affected and dealing fire damage over time. So while at full throttle to foes behind you, 73 fire damage, 15.7 fire damage every 1 second for 10 seconds. And again, improved by EPG. Now again, the number's off, but the interesting thing about this... Oh, we're at red alert, we need to get out of here. A little bit of the danger of doing this video down here to get everybody in the Christmas spirit. So now that we're at safety. So what I was actually saying is, what's interesting about this trait, as it says, it does fire damage to foes behind you. The console is like a tractor beam repulsor with pull. So as you're going at full throttle, because with this build, with the trait, if that is what you're using, if you decide to play around with it, it's good kind of in conjunction with pedal to the metal, because you need to be at full throttle. But in conjunction with the trait, you'll now be pulling ships behind you. Because a lot of times, one of the first things I read with this trait is, you're not, it's not a lot of times that you're attacking ships and there are enemies behind you. More times than not, you're either side-facing because of your forward and rear beam arrays, or you're in a forward-facing build like a torp or cannon. But with this, let's just take ISA for an example, you're moving from the right side to the left, and there are the spears that have come out, and you put this on them and kind of whip around in some circles, till they're dead. You'll be doing the fire damage from the trait and the fire damage from the console, and, it seems there's some decent synergy there with them. The other traits, well, we're here. We have pedal to the metal, like we said. We have emergency weapon cycle, cold-hearted, and promise of ferocity. For personal traits, beam barrage, point-blank shot, duelist fervor, repair cruise, fleet coordinator. A good day to die, self-modulating fire, last-ditch effort, and superior beam training. For the reputation, we have precision, we have the controlled countermeasures, we have energy refrequencer, advanced targeting systems, and hull repairing nanites. I went with hull repairing nanites for a little bit of the hull regen because I didn't want to lose any of my space traits to put on Honored Dead, so I kind of went with that to see if it helped out. Not sure. I'm sure, I normally, as you guys have seen any of my builds, that's not, in there. I just threw it in. I was having trouble. I was having good runs. I've had good numbers of these ships all the time, but, it doesn't take a lot of beating, and in a few runs I was in, I was getting popped. So we put that on for a little defense, and in that run we had a good team with us, so we were able to keep it afloat. We'll look station-wise. We have a Lieutenant Commander Pilot Universal, which we have gone with engineering. We have a Commander Tactical, which we have our Beta 3, Fire at Will. We have an Ensign Tactical, which we just decided to throw Distributed Targeting 1. We have a Lieutenant Engineering, and a Lieutenant Commander Science. So, one of the big things, and I also think about the console layout, this ship seems to be pretty versatile. There's a few different directions you can go in. It does have the seating to make aux to bat available to you. It's nice to have a Lieutenant Commander Psi if you want to go with Gravity Well like I did, or if you want to go with a Tractor Beam Repulsor with Guacamole, drag ships behind you, and get some more advantage out of the trait with the fire damage. And while I wouldn't say that I think the trait or the console are going to be game-changing or anything like that, they have, I've done a number of runs. I believe in that run we just did, we saw about 3,500 combined damage between the two, but I have seen as high as about 7,000, so they're not, not terrible. Some decent damage, especially if it's something fun you just want to play around with for something different. But at the same time, it's nothing crazy. It's not going to take the place of any other kind of consoles on maybe your high-end build that you're running or anything like that. But again, the ship is free. I think it's really nice. I've had some fun with it. It maneuvers really well. And you have a lot of options here because of the, the consoles and the bridge officer seating. You can go in a lot of different directions. Obviously, for anybody who doesn't know, you come to Q's Winter Wonderland by talking to Q on Earth Space Dock. You come right over to this gentleman here, this Marine, and you get fastest game on ice. When you're done, you come right down these steps. You find his a little bit chunkier friend over here. You talk to him, and you signal him, and then you get put right here. The race starts. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but, you know, once it's ready, an opponent will kind of appear here, and you race. And pretty much just complete this once a day, and when you're done, you take your points to reputation, you go to events, and there it is. You load it up and put them in. So last here, we'll just take a little bit of a closer look at this ship. We're here in the Sol system. I've definitely heard some mixed reactions on this one. Some of the people who are actually a fan of it. I've heard the describing word of metal, which I was born in the late 80s, so I guess to me that doesn't really resonate. But it's definitely interesting. I think if you compare it to the other Fek'ihri ship, it definitely feels like it's one of theirs, so they definitely did a good job there. A little strange to see the fire coming out. I don't necessarily know if that's accurate. I don't believe so. And we have fire coming out there with a bit of a trail. I've heard some people who definitely do not like the way this ship looks. But again, it's free. It's not bad. You know, for somebody who is new to the game, maybe doesn't have a tier 6 ship, doesn't want to put money in, it's definitely a nice one. So I recommend everybody get it. And I'd actually be interested to hear, what do you guys think about the way this ship looks? Leave it in the comments below. So this has been my review for the Fek'ihri Sator warship. I hope you guys liked it. If there's any kind of build or anything you'd want to see with this ship, just let me know. Thanks a lot, guys.